Chapter 7. The Crycle Empire, a kingdom located at the snowy northern borders of Equestria. Some considered it part of Equestria, but that would be false. They were a fiercely independent nation who, as they put it, chose to ally with Equestria against their common enemy, the Griffins. Princess Symphony, cousin to Princess Celestia and Luna, oversaw the empire, and was dubbed the Princess of Song due to her musical talent. The tone of her voice can make any pony as gentle and loving as a puppy, or as fierce as a hungry timber wolf. She rules beside her stallion, Prince Tempo Trouble, and their newly born daughter, Princess Nyamora Canenza. Luna wrinkled her snout at her niece's name. Did it have to be so long and complex? Couldn't they just call her Cadence? Also, why is she and Celestia labeled as the new filly's aunts? They were blood related, but Symphony was their cousin, not sister. Whatever, probably just a typo. Luna assumes, folding the second letter Symphony sent, detailing the planned events. Since she had missed the foal's birth, Luna felt it was her duty to go to the filly's crowning or coronation ceremony, or whatever they were calling it. It was a crystal pony thing. They loved to throw festivals, no matter the reason. Traveling with the Princess of the Night was her ever-faithful friend Applejack, accompanied by some of her night patrol ponies. Her wing guard considered a fierce fury and a new recruit named Nightingale. Also present was Dusk, who somehow managed to convince not only her father, but the Princess of the Night herself to come on the trip. Luna still had no idea how she did it, and she was there to see it. Confident in Six's and Gadget's leadership skills, Luna left them in charge to keep things running. She hoped Gadget would keep his invention testing to a minimum while she was gone. She wanted to test his new toys herself. To make sure her pony is safe. Yeah, that was it. Luna, are you okay? Asked Applejack, concerned for the Princess of the Night. She's been acting strange. Stranger than usual since receiving that last letter. She has hardly spoken throughout the entire trip. I'm fine, Applejack, Luna answered. But Applejack's skeptical frown made it clear she wasn't fooling any pony with her lies. Luna sighed as her defenses crumbled under Applejack's stare. I'm finding it a little hard to relax, to be honest. Every pony else is back working at the castle, while I'm off to what is essentially a vacation. Ah, shucks, Luna. Don't be so hard on yourself, Applejack said, her tone chipper. Every pony needs a little R&R every once in a while. No pony back home would argue against that. Frankly, you spending some time off will be a great relief to all of us who follow you. Luna gasped at the former farm mare, confusion clear on her royal face as Applejack chuckled. What do you mean? Well, you were working yourself so hard. We were all kind of getting worried about you. She was at loss for words, touched by her subject's kindness. She smiled and gave Applejack a hug. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad I have a pony like you to tell me such things. Ah, shucks, Luna. Don't think nothing of it, replied Applejack, patting her on the back. Hey, is that it over there? Luna turned to the front of the chariot, spotting over the blowing snow a splotch of shimmering green that could only be one place: the Crycle Empire. Indeed, behold, the Crycle Empire. A dazzling sight, is it not? You got that right, Applejack, rubbing her eyes to make sure it wasn't a trick. She couldn't believe how green and shiny everything was. Who would have thought such a place existed in this snowy wasteland? So cool! Dust cried, jumping onto Applejack's back to get a better look. Luna smiled at their excitement. Perhaps she did deserve a vacation. Oh, there they are! Symphony exclaimed excitedly from her balcony. Her husband, Trouble, looked out at the small flying speck that his wife was pointing at with a pair of binoculars used usually for operas. Faintly, he could make out the dark, ethereal hair of the Princess of the Night. Indeed, it is Luna, but I don't see Celestia with her. Strange, they would travel separately. Let me see. Symphony practically ripped the binoculars from her husband's grasp. Oh, you're right. That is definitely not Celestia. I see Blondie. Can't make out the gender. You think Luna got herself a special sun pony? Trouble calmly took the binoculars away from his wife. I doubt it. Luna has never shown any interest in a suitor, and there has been no gossip of her settling down with some noble. Symphony rolled her eyes, taking the binoculars back. Those twats have nothing to offer Luna or Celestia for that matter. I highly doubt we will ever hear of royal wedding bells for any union between them and a noble. Now a big tough farming stallion or another adventurous mercenary, that's the kind of pony I can see Luna mating with. It is my personal belief, my dear cousin, perhaps a simple and action-oriented pony. Oh yeah? Trouble said skeptically. What makes you say that? Well, it's only a theory, but she does like reading tombs of those historic ponies of old, such as Tug, Blackjack, Abelard, and Eponia. That last one was the mare you know. Your point? Trouble cleared his throat. Right, you were saying? Luna likes... Oh look, they've landed. Let's go greet them. Symphony excitedly leaped off the balcony, flying down to the ground. Not having wings, Trouble went back inside to take the stairs. Hopefully, his little problem downstairs would die down by the time he got there. Damn his wife's sexy plot. Luna and company landed and were greeted by the Crystal Guards, who quickly searched them and the chariot. Once they confirmed they weren't carrying any weapons. Not that she needed any, most of the time. The guards pulled the chariot off to the garage. Nightingale and Fierce Fury took up position with Applejack, Dusk, and Luna between them. However, despite their diligence, their blinded side by a pink and maroon blur that bounced past them and tackled Luna to the ground. "Hi, Luna!" "Hi, Sim. Long time no see." Luna gasped between her cousin's weight. Symphony was a big pony, but not fat, but big. She stood even taller than Celestia, only by a few inches, though. Either way, "Sam, get off me, please!" The ruler of the Crycle Empire chuckled softly, unwrapping herself from the ponies of the night. "Oh, Looney, it's so nice to see you again. And look at you, you've grown so much since our last meeting. Last time you barely reached over my flank, and now look at you." "Yes, I have grown in the last century, though not as much as I'd liked." "What was the last part? I didn't hear you, Looney." "Nothing. Here, this is my friend Applejack, and this..." "Is this your mare friend?" Symphony inquired, causing jaws to drop. Luna blinked at the loss of words as she stared at her cousin. "I beg your pardon." Never mind. "Cousin, you were saying?" Symphony quickly said. Smiling awkwardly wide, Luna continued to stare with a raised eyebrow as she continued the introductions. "Right. This little filly is Dusk, and these are my guards, Nightingale and Fierce Fury. We are all very grateful for your invitation." Symphony waved off the compliments with a hoof. Yes, well, I'm sure you're very tired and hungry from your long journey. Let us show you to your room so you can rest, and I'll have the chef whip a meal for you all." Smiling brightly, Symphony led the gathered ponies to the castle, where Trouble had just arrived, looking a bit fatigued from his long jog down the stairs. "Sorry, hun, going back up. Please me in the dining hall?" Symphony sang as she passed by. Trouble exhaustedly turned around and began to journey back up. If only there was a device that could take a pony from floor to floor without having to take the stairs. He thought he would make that creator of such an invention a very rich pony. Meanwhile, in the castle of the two sisters. "Hey, Mr. Gadget, what's this invention?" an assistant asked, holding up a drawing of a box with buttons. "I call it an elevator. It's supposed to make traveling up tall structures easier. But I scrapped it for health reasons." "Health reasons?" "Ponies would get fat and lazy if they didn't have to take the stairs. It's better for ponies' health in general if such a thing never exists." "Burn the print. Right away, sir." Back in the Crycle Empire. "So we're sharing a room then?" Applejack stated aloud, for what would have been the fourth time by Luna's account, as they prepared to attend supper with Symphony and Trouble. Though really there wasn't much to prepare for. Neither mares brought any formal dining clothes and didn't like makeup, so they were basically waiting around with nothing to do except debating Symphony's intentions as to why they were sharing a room in a castle with enough rooms to hold over 100 ponies comfortably. "'Tis a big room with 2 bedrooms, Applejack. I see no reason to feel awkward with one another. We are both mares after all, and thou hast slept in my bed before, remember?" Applejack sputtered while trying to hide her burning cheeks. "Yes, that's true, but it was by accident, and then Celestia scared the bejesus out of me. I know, I was there, Applejack. 'Tis were a truly humorous sight to behold, was it not? Luna laughed. Opening the curtains, she smiled brightly at Applejack, perhaps a little too brightly. She's been switching between normal and fancy speak since we left. Something is bothering her. Luna? Supper is ready, Princess Luna, Lady Applejack. If you would please follow me. A crystal guard interrupted. Wonderful, lead the way, good sir, Luna said, trotting after the guard, leaving Applejack with a sinking feeling in her gut as she followed her friend. The trip to the dining hall was quick and silent. The crystal guard delivered them to their seats. Luna sat to the left of Symphony, who sat at the head of the table with Trouble beside her. And Applejack sat next to Luna, with Dust sitting next to her. In the corner, Fury and Nightingale hid in the shadows, keeping eye on their charges. Welcome, friends. Tonight, let us sing songs and be merry, for tomorrow we celebrate my daughter, Mia Amare Cananza's crowning as Princess of the Crycle Empire, as well as our ascension to King and Queen. Hail Faust! Hail Faust! The gathered guests echoed, along with Luna, Applejack, and Dusk. Several other ponies of high status were in attendance. The captain of the guard, Shining Stone, Mayor-in-Waiting, Lady Alto Melody, Symphony's best friend, and King Sombra, the ruler of Merdor, a small country on the very northern borders of the Empire. So, Shining Stone coughed as he sat down his wine glass. What is your rank in Cantlot Military Guild, Lady Applejack? You must have an astounding record to travel with Princess Luna. Is she a pony of very high class and standards, you know? And right here, Sir Shining, Luna said, narrowing her eyes at the drunk. And Applejack isn't part of the Cantlot Military Guard, CMG for short. She is of my own personal military guard, the Night Patrol, and Applejack was my first recruit. She managed to take down a Cyclops all on her own, and that was before her training. Shining Stone coughed violently as his drink went down the wrong pipe. Your own private military guard, you say? What possible need do you have for that, Princess? Why not go through the guild? There are surely many brave stallions that would gladly join your ranks. Luna smirked as she took a few bites of her meal, letting the tension build a bit as they waited for her reply. I can play politics too, Celestia. My ponies were being attacked by creatures that plagued the night, and I tried to go in alone and realized I wouldn't accomplish anything that way. I chose to pick ponies who worked and lived on the land, for they would be the most motivated to defend it. And I happened to find a force of 150 dragon ponies that needed a purpose in life, thought Princess Luna. Also, ponies at the CMG have questionable loyalty issues. Any pony with enough bits could get them to switch to their priorities, retorted Luna. Enough of this. Whatever this conversation is, how about we talk about something a little less tension-rising? What do you two say? Lady Alto suggested. Very well. Luna humped, crossing her hooves. "But I do not want to hear one word about bachelors, Alto. I'm not interested in such pursuits right now." The misty gray mare sighed, adjusting the small pink bow in her mane. "Of course you say that, Luna. Very well. How about dresses, or even better, cellos? I found this magnificently crafted cello in the bazaar today. The music I could make with it would be simply heavenly if only I could afford it." "Don't I get a suggestion in the conversation?" Shining interrupted. He received a playful thump on the head from Alta. "No, my dear sir, you do not. You just start another argument, as you love to do. But look at me being rude. King Sombra, how are you enjoying your visit to the Empire so far?" The black unicorn smiled viciously as he gazed at the crystal decor, his eyes looking over each pony with a strange fixation. "I'm enjoying it very much, Lady Alto. The hospitality you all have shown me, despite past relations between our kingdoms, is greatly appreciated. Though I had hoped to see the young new princess with us tonight. Tell us, Princess Symphony, what breed is the new princess? Unicorn, Pegasus, Earth Pony? Or has the rare chance of a new alicorn been blessed upon you?" Symphony shifted comfortably under Sombra's stare. "No, Cadenza is a Pegasus. Though she proposes a rather strange magic, is it possible a horn could grow later in her life? But either way, I love my daughter just the way she is. A pity that once great alicorn race may soon disappear from this world, bound to be remembered only in myths and legends passed down the generations. Must be hard for you two to live in face of this fact," Sombra said, looking between the two alicorns, his eyes falling on Luna. The Princess of the Night knew what was next. "Perhaps you and I would fare better creating an alicorn foal, dear Princess Luna. Alicorn blood does flow through my lineage. My great-great-grandfather was Trojan, the alicorn of protection." "Maybe if we were to mate, his genes would reawaken. If nothing else, I would show you a very pleasurable time, I'm sure." Luna's blood was boiling. It was taking all her strength not to buck the Unicorn King in the face with his insolence. "Your mare friend can join us too. I'm stallion enough for two." Luna snarled, raising a protective wing to shield Applejack and trying to change the subject. "Symphony, when is our sister Celestia arriving, or has she chosen not to attend?" "Celestia said she has some business with the council to deal with, but said she would join us the day after tomorrow for a private visit." "How wonderful that the Princess of the Sun will be joining us," said Sombra, his gaze falling on Luna again. "Perhaps she would like to join us as well, my dear Luna, for a private visit." That was the last straw for Luna. "We think thou hast said enough, Unicorn King. Insults to me are tolerable, but thy friends and sister are of a different matter. Apologies are due, given them now, or face our wrath." "Luna!" Symphony screamed, trying to calm the Night Princess down, but Luna would hear none of it. With the mere flick of her hoof, a shockwave of pure magic blew through the room, making every pony freeze in their seats. All ponies except Sombra, who was smiling just as gleefully as before, if not more. Beautiful. Simply beautiful. I find this side of you even more attractive, dear Luna. Luna growled, her hoof shaking with barely uncontrolled rage. Taking a deep breath, Luna let herself relax and calm down, if only for a moment. We apologize for our unrefined outburst. We are tired from our journey and are in need of rest. Please excuse us. Of course, Luna simply said, her voice soft and understanding. I wish you and yours good night, and I hope the morning finds you in a better mood. King Sombra, I trust this hasn't affected our hopes of peace. Has it? Sombra bowed, smirk ever present. Of course not. Why let a little thing like this get in the way of peace? Besides, I rather enjoyed seeing the princess fluttered. A rare and wonderful sight to behold. Dare I say, I would love to see more after the peace talks. Nina rubbed her eyes as she gratefully stomped out of the room, Applejack and the others following behind her. Nina rushed to her room as soon as the doors was closed, and rushed to her bed, landing in a heap, her body shaking as she struggled to rein in her emotions. At last, it was all for naught as the first tear escaped and rolled down her cheek. Luna? Applejack said softly. Are you okay? Sobs answered her. Quickly, Applejack opened the door and entered the room, her hooves clicking softly on the crystal floor that would have been rather pretty to look at if not for her concern for her friend. As she approached the bed, Luna shifted away from her. Wordlessly, Applejack moved to the other side of the bed, where once again Luna turned away. Applejack gave a frustrated sigh and moved to the other side again, only for Luna to move again. That's it, I'm climbing in. Leaping onto the bed, Applejack landed gracefully. The bed was larger it needed to be for one pony. It could probably fit 5. She was simply glad it gave her room to land without squishing Luna. No need to add physical pain on top of emotional pain. Lying on her belly, Applejack looked straight at Luna, who had retreated under the blankets. Come on, Luna, it's me, Applejack. You can trust me. Please, tell me what's wrong, she said gently, trying to persuade the princess of the night out of her little fortress of blankets. Nothing happened at first. The room went silent, save for Luna's quieting cries and hiccups. She moved beneath blankets, poking her head out, her eyes red and fur soaked with tears. There. Tell me what's wrong, Applejack said smoothly, rubbing Luna's head. I feel like such a failure, Luna began, her voice cracking. Every time I try to play politics, I embarrass myself. When I try to play their game, I'm laughed at. When I try to do things my way, I'm scolded at and told to think more moderately. I defend my honor and dignity against a noble or ambassador who thinks they can get into my bedchambers. I'm scolded for not enduring their advances as well as Celestia does, and tonight I tried so hard to defend you and Celestia against that slanderous stallion Sombra. And I mocked for my efforts, and once again scolded. I wish I'd never became a princess. A strange chill ran up Applejack's spine as Luna's voice seemed to change, turning deeper and filled with malice. Curse Stars World for imposing this fate upon us. Curse Celestia for persuading me this curse was some blessing. Curse them all. Luna screamed, reeling up on her hind legs, her coat turning blacker than night. Filled with fear, seeing what was happening to her friend, Applejack leaped into action and hugged Luna with all her might. This seemed to have an effect as the Princess of the Night froze in her grasp. "It's okay, Luna. It's all going to be okay," Applejack whispered, as Luna's coat returned to its normal midnight blue. Luna fell limp in her hooves and laid the princess gently on the bed. Retrieving the blankets, Applejack proceeded to tug the tired mare and was about to leave when Luna reached out to stop her. "Please, don't leave me alone." Applejack smiled. "Of course." Crawling onto the bed, Applejack laid down on the opposite side of the bed from Luna. As sleep began to take her, Applejack felt the blanket shift. Luna moved right up next to her and draped her wing over her body. It was a little awkward for Applejack, but Luna's warmth was infectious with sleep, and soon her eyes began to slowly close. "Celestia, I missed you," Luna mumbled in her sleep as she snuggled closer to Applejack. Applejack froze at the words, feeling compelled to answer, if only for the hope it would ease Luna's suffering even a little. "I missed you too, Luna. Sweet dreams, sister." Luna snuggled closer, muttering something Applejack couldn't hear, but it didn't matter. "Everything would be okay, Luna. I promise." That, my friends, was Chapter 7 of Night Patrol, the Crycle Empire. I forgot how some of this topic may seem out of place. I have to give it to Princess Luna. Her actions at the dinner table are very justified. At no point, even in the presence of ambassadors, nobles, and princesses, should the topics come up of sex, politics, and religion. However, given some of the circumstances, these ponies, knowing Luna's past and knew what can get her upset, worked. Now, I bid you all a good night, and I will see you tomorrow night after my very long shift. But I keep to my promise. All my homework is done, and there's reading to be continued. I hope you all are enjoying Please like so I know, and comment so I can do better. This is Icy Night. Have a very good night.